Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, whatever time zone you're part of. Because in my time zone, it is currently 6:50 a.m. in Birmingham, Alabama. And in today's live, I want to talk about whether the dating scene, today's dating scene, has quote unquote P in it. To put it another way, whether dating is worth it anymore in today's modern society due to how we're always distracted every day, all day, throughout all day, every day, is what I'm trying to say, due to everybody or everywhere you go, to put it another way, because everybody, that's just like me generalize when saying everybody has a cell phone. I know it seems like it, but everybody doesn't. Nevertheless, and I digress. Everywhere you go, you see people with cell phones with their eyes glued either to a cell phone screen, a tablet screen, or a computer screen in the forms of a laptop. And due to how we have more easier access than ever as far as picking that potential someone to hit it off with, due to how more and more and throughout each and every day dating apps are becoming more prevalent and more popular too, to the point where we hardly interact with each other on a physical level anymore, due to how social media, for the most part, and cell phones has entitled us to not want to always expect to be approached by people in person, or not having to even worry about approaching people in person for the most part ourselves. When that being said, I'm going to put my StreamYard link right here in the live chat so some of you could be able to talk with me about and talk to me and give your viewpoints on whether you think that the dating scene, the modern dating scene, is pretty scarce nowadays. In the meanwhile, I'm going to show some video slides because I tried to in the last live, but I was very unsuccessful in doing so. As a matter of fact, you couldn't even hear any of the video slides that I was showing to give more reference to the topic of the video, whether the dating pool, today's dating pool, has quote unquote period. So bear with me, folks, because I'm going to try to the best of my ability to show some video slides that will relate to today's live stream, and the topic of today's live stream. Now, if push comes to shove and I'm not successful in doing so, then I may not have a choice but to show the footage on my phone. And all of these clips, all these reels are on behalf of TikTok. And while you're at it, let me know in the live chat whether you may either be able to have the privilege of seeing each of these slides I plan on presenting to you, each of these reels, or not. Once again, if I'm not successful in showing you any of this footage, or at least letting you hear, I would, like I just stated, have no other choice but to show it to you on my phone. So let me attach my StreamYard link right here. If you would like to call me and give me your perspective, and let me try to present some more slides while doing so.
Let's be honest. Trust is lost on these modern women nowadays. Even the ring does not guarantee any level of loyalty anymore. Growing up, watching my brothers get played by these run-through women has been brutal, but eye-opening. A man will invest time and energy. Meanwhile, she's on the other side, letting another man reap the benefits, and she's proud. For the most part, these loose small women will come up with these I need to go find myself excuses to justify their behaviors. They play mind games and are constantly trying to manipulate good men. These women will tell these men they're the reason for their unfaithfulness. They even believe that cheating is a necessity. According to these women, guilty pleasure is something they need to feel independent. They master the art of lying to justify their narcissistic behaviors. These entitled egomaniacs will do everything necessary to portray good men as ugly to society. And the sad thing is, they get away with it every
Let me try again real quick and let me know whether you could either hear or see any of this footage that I'm about to show.
Offended, run now. That's your only trigger warning. 58% of American black women that have children have at least one child by multiple different men. In other words, 58% of black women have 2 or more baby.
Now, can you hear or see this guy that's talking? Please let me know so I could be able to proceed with the live stream. And so I won't have to keep on leading you guys on.
Baby daddies. Okay. Now, y'all, TikTok has been suppressing my videos a little bit recently. I don't know why, but so I need y'all to like this. I need y'all to comment on it because we need to have this conversation. According to a study that was done by Cassandra Dorius, who's a postdoctorate fellow at the University of Michigan's Institute for Social Research, mothers with multiple fathers for their children are more likely to be underemployed, to have lower incomes, and to be less educated. According to the study, families with multiple fathers are stressed out, with issues often arising about how to consistently raise a child in different households. I got a question, because I've heard this used about the fact that 59% of black women that have kids have 2 or more baby daddies. I've heard this used by the pundits on podcasts. I've heard this used by the manosphere. I've heard this used by a lot of men that want to just bash the out of women. So it's like, okay, I accept your premise, but here's the thing. Typically, this study does not take into account the amount of women that were married before they had kids or then got divorced and got remarried and had children. This study doesn't bring that up. It doesn't take that into account. But what I want to know from the men is this. Typically speaking, because I've had conversations with thousands of women at this point, they all say, especially the ones that have multiple children by different men, they say, after my first marriage ended, I became celibate. I said, I'm going to hold out. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to wait to have sex again, that kind of thing. The men they were encountering that were black men were saying, well, you already somebody's mama. Why I got to wait to get the draws? Why I got to wait to clap the cheeks? Why I got to wait to get the... And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, you know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. Before we sit up here and try to...
Now, while I'm playing this here video slide, please, someone let me know by giving me a thumbs up on whether you're able to see this slide that I'm showing. So I just want me making this live stream for nothing. If not, if you don't want to give me a thumbs up, then make sure you answer my question. My question is, can any of you either hear or see any of the following of the footage that I'm showing? Once again, feel free to respond either in the live chat or by giving me a thumbs up on whether you're able to finally see all the footage that I'm showing you.
And try to damn and condemn women for having more than one child out of wedlock. Now, granted, there are a large percentage, a growing percentage of women that want children without getting married, to which I say, y'all know my opinion on that. I think that's stupid. I think that's stupid. I'm always think that's stupid. But to the men that want to bash women, that try to be celibate afterwards, this still proves to me men have no problem sleeping with and reproducing with women that they supposedly deem the unworthies, the undesirables, because I thought single mamas I thought they were the untouchables. I thought they were the undesirables. So why is it that women that have children both in and out of wedlock with one man already still get sexual access from these supposed high value kings of the earth? Like, the math doesn't math to me. And as I investigate this further, I'm really starting to think you could either use this to bash women Or you could use this to say men are so hypersexual in this world today that they don't really give a about no legacy. They don't give a about having multiple children in one household that have been fathered by multiple different men. They don't give a about being statistics. They don't. Because if they did, this number of women that have children by more than one man would be drastically lower than what it currently is. So y'all tell me if I'm right, wrong, or indifferent. If you've made it this far, please let me know you made it this far. Put a church down there in the comments if you got this far. Because my thing is this: if men are supposed to be the leaders of society, if we're supposed to be the head honchos, we're the patriarchs, right? We lead society. Why are we leading in creating broken houses and in being active participants in the perpetuation of broken houses? Because the math ain't mathing. Church.
Okay, on behalf of the last reel that I just showed, reel, video slide, whatever, let me know once again in the comment section on whether you were able to see it. Since I'm sharing my screen on both StreamYard, basically multi-streaming, and YouTube Live. If not, let me know whether you either was just able to see it or not. Either yes or no in a live chat. Otherwise, I have to end this live stream and show you the footage in a, I guess you say, in a worst case scenario from either my phone or tablet, the same exact footage, and just bring my device up closer to the screen so you can be able to have that much easier access to hear, both hear and see it that way. So I'll give y'all more y'all that much more of a chance to join me before I end this here stream. And please answer my question on whether you were able to see that last slide that I showed, video slide. For you who just joined me, were you able to see that video slide? Give me a yes or no in the chat, live chat. I see quite a bit of people joining the chat, the live stream, only to leave. What's with y'all? What's y'all issue? If you plan on joining and then leaving, why not join in the first place? I mean, what sense does that make, people? I'm giving you also the opportunity to click on the StreamYard link so you could be able to call in and give me your perspectives on whether you think that the dating pool, the modern dating pool and dating market is useless, is contaminated, has quote unquote pee in it, it's trash as well. As I'm recording this live stream, and I also want you to know, for some of you, even though it's obvious, very obvious, none of you are listening to the live stream, make sure you answer my question for some of you who will finally join this live stream. And when you join the live stream, make sure you stay listening to the video. Don't just join it for a split second and only to exit right back out. That's crazy. Be a solid person. Be a solid follower and supporter of my channel. Otherwise, unsubscribe to my channel. If you plan on playing games repeatedly, if you plan on joining my live stream only to leave it right afterwards, and answer my question, I'm not going to keep on telling you or demanding you to answer my question on whether you were able to, whether you're able to see some of the footage that I'm actually showing on this here live stream. With that being said, and on that note, for all you slow people, I'm going to show you another video slide. And I'm trying to make it as straightforward as possible. Let me know in the live chat whether you are able to see this next video slide, this next reel that I'm about to show you pertaining to the topic. Please respond to me. Okay? I mean, what's so hard about it?
Nobody told me that dating after your 30s was so ghetto. I mean, it's ghetto as going to that cousin house who don't never has two things that match. Like finding somebody that you physically attracted to, but then they got an ugly ass attitude. Like finding somebody that you actually have a good vibe with, but you might not really be attracted to them physically. Like finding somebody with good, but they ain't got no drive and no ambition, no money either. Like finding somebody that's upfront about what they want, but they not affectionate and they nonchalant. I would have never thought in this world that it would be so hard to find somebody that at least has two of the things that you're looking for. And I'm not talking about for the people that's extra petty in particular and they want somebody 6'5" with an 850 score credit score and a mansion. And no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just finding somebody that has three of the simple things that you're looking for. Like I never would have thought it would be this hard. Like it's so crazy. Like dating after the age of 30 is like the most ghetto thing that I've ever done. 0 out of 10. Do not recommend. I don't even know. Like I don't know, because the times are different, people are different, and yeah, like it's just really ghetto and I'm tired.
Now, were you able to interview or Mr. Gary Sergeant Major Maga? Were you able to see that last video slide that I just showed? Comment yes or no. And there's no being negative. I kind of believe it means negative. Can you please specify what do you mean no for negative, Mr. Gary Sergeant Major Maga? So I will continue to proceed to the next clip I have to show you, because I do have more to show. And Mr. Gary Maga, do you think that today's dating pool has quote unquote P in it, where today's dating pool is useless, either useless or worthless, as opposed to the days way before social media, the days when we had to depend on talking to people in person more so, and then waiting until we got some free time to get back home and talk to them on the landline, aka house phone? Do you also wish we could go back to those days if you're old enough to know about a landline, Mr. Gary Maga? Whereas we had to end up interacting with each other more so on a physical level. I mean, I miss those days back when you was able to approach a female, and after talking to her, having to lower her guard down so you could be able to gain enough confidence to get lucky enough with her, to earn a shot with her. You get a number after talk to her in person, approach her in person, and it may be a 50-50 chance that may be the wrong phone number she may have given you. And in the same breath, may have been a 50-50 chance that she may give you the right phone number. But just recall how excited you were to get a female's phone number back in the days, way back before the social media era, back before you didn't have to rely on having a phone screen in front of your face just to be able to get to know that ideal someone who you would like to get to know better finally. The thrill of it. And that goes for any of you other ones. Although nobody has stayed listening to my content, but I'll go ahead and say it anyway. A lot of you other people miss those days, those who are 39 and older, whereas you could be able to approach somebody of the opposite. Well, my fellas I'm referring to specifically, because women don't really approach men like that. Do you wish we could go back to those days, whereas we didn't have to depend on cell phones or dating apps to get to know females more so on a personal or intimate level, where we had the chance to finally get build up the nerve to approach females in person, and then not only that, use our mouth game to the best of our ability to be more smart and tactful and being able to figure out the exact kinds of words to say to them to engage a female that much more, and eventually get to know her better, eventually get to talk with her over the phone as soon as we were to get back home, and use the landline to talk to one on, then eventually set up a date, and then get to go out on a date with that female, go to her home and pick her up, instead of being led on. Because nowadays there are so many women that like to play games with men that they usually come for them to go out on a date after exchanging DMs with men through social media and dating apps. Come to those actual days, most women like to play crazy when men that the men they may have met and arranged to go out on dates when may finally get the chance to meet up with them, to take them out on a date. Just in case some of you may have not seen those last presentations I just showed, I'm going to anyway take the opportunity, take the privilege of showing you a clip over my phone, if that may help, if that may be better. For some of you who are acting all retarded by not responding to whether you were able to see the last presentations that I showed or not. This is what I'm going to do. Show them over my phone, and hopefully you'll start to answer my question then, for all you slow people.
Loves you, that makes you feel comfortable with who you are, someone that supports and encourages you in all aspects of your life. They know just how to deal with you when you may need a little correcting. They can talk to you without making you feel small. You can feel that it's coming from a place of love and there's not any malicious intent behind it. If you can find you someone that truly understands you and they patient and kind with you, hey, hold on to them. Don't let them little small issues and this internet separate y'all. Talk and communicate. And most importantly, keep friends and family out your business. Everybody can't give you advice. Everybody ain't rooting for you. As long as you're not being violated in any kind of way and your boundaries aren't being crossed and stomped on, hey, come together and work that shit out. As long as the pros continue to outweigh the cons, continue to find a way to make that shit work. Because I'm telling you, ain't nothing out here for you. Ain't nothing outside. The waters is pissy and doodle infested, and the only thing swimming in that pool is sharks and leeches. And they either gonna eat you alive or suck you dry, and not in the way that you prefer. If you're fortunate enough to find yourself.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me know whether that was better, how I just showed a TikTok reel pertaining to the lecture at hand, where they're showing the actual footage on my phone was better, like I just did, or whether you were actually able to see the presentations while multi-streaming on both StreamYard and YouTube Live. Don't be afraid to answer my question either. Because I just showed two video slides / presentations on behalf of StreamYard. And I caught myself sharing them on YouTube, this YouTube Live as well. Once again, if you don't plan on staying on this here live, once you were to join me on this here live, don't worry about joining me in the first place, because I don't have time for no BS, no games. Like I said earlier, make sure you click that StreamYard link so you could join me. I could put you on the screen and you could give me your perspective perspective on whether you think that the dating pool is contaminated, whether you think the modern dating pool has quote unquote pee in it, whether you think that the modern dating pool, everyone, is worthless now, it's useless now due to social media apps, due to smartphones, due to dating apps as well, and how we have more accessibility to be able to interact with people than we ever have before. Let me know. Just in case some of you didn't hear the very first presentation I showed, it was on behalf of how so many modern women have kids by multiple men, so many modern Black American women. I'm going to take the privilege of showing you on my phone. Once again, just in case you didn't see it from when I first started this live stream on YouTube. Let me find it.
But trust me, it's big.
If you're easily offended, run now. That's your only trigger warning. 58% of American Black women that have children have at least one child by multiple different men. In other words, 58% of Black women have 2 or more baby daddies. Okay? Now, y'all, TikTok has been suppressing my videos a little bit recently. I don't know why, but so I need y'all to like this. I need y'all to comment on it because we need to have this conversation. According to a study that was done by Cassandra Dorius, who's a postdoctorate fellow at the University of Michigan's Institute for Social Research, mothers with multiple fathers for their children are more likely to be underemployed, to have lower incomes, and to be less educated. According to the study, families with multiple fathers are stressed out, with issues often arising about how to consistently raise a child in different households. I got a question, because I've heard this used about the fact that 59% of Black women that have kids have 2 or more baby daddies. I've heard this used by the pundits on podcasts. I've heard this used by the manosphere. I've heard this used by a lot of men that want to just bash the out of women. So it's like, okay, I accept your premise, but here's the thing. Typically, this study does not take into account the amount of women that were married before they had kids or then got divorced and got remarried and had children. This study doesn't bring that up. It doesn't take that into account. What I want to know from the men is this. Typically speaking, because I've had conversations with thousands of women at this point, they all say, especially the ones that have multiple children by different men, they say, after my first marriage ended, I became celibate. I said, I'm going to hold out. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to wait to have sex again, that kind of thing. The men they were encountering that were Black men were saying, well, you already somebody's mama. Why I got to wait to get the draws? Why I got to wait to clap the cheeks? Why I got to wait to get the... And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, you know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. Before we sit up here and try to damn and condemn women for having more than one child out of wedlock. Now, granted, there are a large percentage, a growing percentage of women that want children without getting married, to which I say, y'all know my opinion on that. I think that's stupid. I think that's stupid. I'm always think that's stupid. But to the men that want to bash women, that try to be celibate afterwards, this still proves to me men have no problem sleeping with and reproducing with women that they supposedly deem the unworthies, the undesirables. Because I thought single mamas I thought they were the untouchables. I thought they were the undesirables. So why is it that women that have children, both in and out of wedlock, with one man already, still get sexual access from these supposed high-value kings of the earth? Like, the math doesn't math to me. And as I investigate this further, I'm really starting to think you could either use this to bash women, Or you could use this to say men are so hypersexual in this world today that they don't really give a about no legacy. They don't give a about having multiple children in one household that have been fathered by multiple different men. They don't give a about being statistics. They don't. Because if they did, this number of women that have children by more than one man would be drastically lower than what it currently is. So y'all tell me if I'm right, wrong, or indifferent. If you made it this far, please let me know you made it this far. Put a church down there in the comments if you got this far. Because my thing is this: if men are supposed to be the leaders of society, if we're supposed to be the head honchos, we're the patriarchs, right? We lead society. Why are we leading in creating broken houses and in being active participants in the perpetuation of broken houses? Because the math ain't mathing. Church. If you're easily offended.
Now, let me know whether you agree with his perspective. And I mean, he didn't really specifically address how the dating pool is contaminated, yet and still he did in the same breath. And in so many words, by saying how so many women, so many Black American women make a habit and purposely and proudly, having kids by multiple men. They make a habit out of doing those kinds of things, having kids, more than one kid by more than one man. And this is one of the main reasons why your kids, Black women, have to split up, come meet when they may get with their family members, come holidays, come birthday parties. Whereas if you would have chosen to have your kids by one man specifically, they wouldn't have to worry about all your kids splitting it up. And then to make matters even worse, you choose, even if you don't end up marrying or choosing to be engaged to the guys you have your kids with, you have the audacity to get those same kids their dad's last names. It doesn't work that way. The only time you should give your kids their father's last name or last names is if you were to marry either one of their fathers. And with that being said, wouldn't it make more sense, am I right or wrong, to give all of your kids your very last name, even if you may not marry the guys who you may have your kids with, which most of you don't believe in doing things in a moral and in a more moralistic, I guess you could say, fashion. Whereas you may go to college after high school, graduate college, get you a career, then choose to marry after that. You have kids instead of a lot of you, while in high school, have all this quote unquote baggage. Usually may start out as early as during your high school years having kids and not even being engaged to the guys you have kids with while in high school, only to look for another guy to take on the role of taking care of that, either that kid or in most cases those kids, not realizing how cheated that guy who may take on the role of being a stepfather to your illegitimate kids, how cheated, just imagine how cheated he feels. That's just like you women, because so many of you are so entitled and so selfish. Black women I'm referring specifically to, although you have other races of kids where other races of women, racial demographics of women who do it other than Black American women, but I'm referring specifically to my sisters. Imagine you not ever having kids of your very own, and then when you finally were to meet your ideal man, your ideal match, that guy who you happen to share very good chemistry and everything, when happen to have a kid by a woman already and wanted to propose to marry you. Imagine how cheated you will feel once you were to marry that and tie a knot, so to speak, with that man, with kids by another woman, while walking down that aisle and having to take on the role of being a stepmother. Put yourself in men's shoes who had to take on the role, sisters, of being stepfathers to your out of wedlock kids. How, especially if that man may not be able to have kids of his very own due to some reproductive issue, imagine how unfair that may be to him. But a lot of you don't think that way because so many of you are so entitled and selfish to the point where You think a man is supposed to wipe you are up no matter how much how much baggage, so to speak, you may have. And I'm referring to you women with several tattoos on your body. You women who have golds in your mouth, gold fronts in your mouth, who still may expect a man to take you seriously as a wife. You same women who cuss like a sailor, like it's no big issue, who smoke excessively. You same women, and which is another reason and fits the title of this here video, today's topic, of why the dating pool, another reason why the dating pool, judging from my perspective and standpoint, is so full of piss. It's so worthless nowadays, so useless nowadays, due to how more you are becoming more and more feminine, so more you have so much baggage to the point where, if you, to be honest, a lot of you deserve to go back to your child's fathers. I'm just calling a spade a spade. Whether you may want to go back to your child's fathers anyway. And some of you have the nerve to have a guy taking care of your illegitimate kids who you may have married after having kids by a whole different other group of guys, and may still be seeing your children's dad is behind your husband's backs on an intimate level. You know what I'm talking about. A lot of you are doing that while being married to a whole new man who didn't have one kid by you, or may have had one kid by you after marriage, and was nice enough to take on the role of being a stepfather to your illegitimate kids, who will never ever respect him. You will never respect him either, no matter how good of a husband or a father he may be to you either. Let's just call a spade a spade. Don't be afraid, people, to click on that StreamYard link that I have attached in the live chat as well, right here at the very top. Once again, for all you slow folks who keep on joining my live stream, only to keep on exiting out of it, keep on leaving it, let me know whether you were able to see or are able. I'm going to show again a presentation through StreamYard, and let me know in a live chat whether you're able to see it. If not, either yes or no. It's not hard. Respond back on whether you're able to either see or hear either one of these upcoming presentations that I'm about to present to you on behalf of StreamYard. If you're not able to, I'm going to show you some more of these same reels on my phone on TikTok, if that's better.
This episode of The Dating Pool has pee and a little bit of chlamydia in it. Excuse it here because it's wash day. But I saw a clip on TikTok that said women will convince themselves that they're dating a good man just because they like them, which triggered me because I felt like I've done this like so many times in the past, where I felt like I liked the person because they didn't irritate me or annoy me, which is easy to do. So when I find somebody who doesn't do those things, I'm like, oh, he's a great person. Like, I can definitely be with this man because he doesn't get on my nerves, because men generally are annoying to be around sometimes. Like, just little things, like the fact that you can't use your and you're in the sentence correctly, just annoying. So when I find that, I'm just like, okay, well, even though he doesn't do these things correctly, and all 10 of these things are red flags, and the fact that we are not sexually compatible and I don't actually look forward to having sex with you, it's kind of just like a thing that I do. Like, it's not terrible, but it's not like super enjoyable either that I get excited about it. But I have been willing to like tell myself that I can see myself with this man in the future with this man and having babies with this man and living happily ever after with this man based on all these negative things about them. And because they just don't irritate me or get on my nerves. Like, and I like them as a person. I like talking to them. I like the vibe that we have together, which sounds completely insane when I say it out loud. That I've done this like with a few people that I've dated in the past where I knew that there was no chance that we would be like successful in a marriage based on a lot of the things that I had issues with. But I was just willing to look past that because I like this person. And I think a lot of people do it because I met a woman recently who told me that she had dated a man for a few years and she wanted to marry this man because he was good on paper. He had a good career. He had his own place and everything. His kids were grown. He was attractive. But she said he was boring. Like, he didn't like to do any of the things that she liked to do. She liked to travel. He just wanted to stay at home. Like, he just really had no, like, personality. But she just liked what he could, like, the paper him. But then she said that she knew that if she did marry this man, she would cheat on him, which is crazy to me that we as a people, because I'm sure men do it too, that we focus on like the one thing that we like about this person and that they don't do wrong and ignore all the other things because the dating pool has pee in it. So it's like, you feel like, are you going to get something better than not being annoyed so you can just look past all the things that are wrong and then try to make this person fit into the person that is right for you, even though you know they're not? Like, I'm just curious if a lot of other people have done this before or feel this way, or if it's just like some self-realization that I'm having at this big old age that I could have had years ago. But it's just crazy when I say it out loud. So I'm just curious what y'all thoughts are.
I'm typing in on my community page for more of you to come and join me as of right now. So let me show you, just in case you weren't able to still see that last presentation, let me show you this one here on my phone. Give me a minute. Of another sister giving her take on why the dating pool, in this here presentation I'm about to show you, she not only said that the dating pool is contaminated, but she also said that it's dangerous as well. Listen. Should be coming up in a minute. I'm going to go to my
Gotta tell you something.
profile page.
Y'all, when I tell you trigger warning, there is going to be some wild things said and discussed in this video because what I'm about to tell y'all about is literally mind-blowing. Like, I know they said the dating pool got a little bit of pee in it. Baby, this is acid. This is acid in the pool, okay? One. Before I get into this story, I just want to say I've already contacted the police. I just feel like I need to tell this publicly because I do feel concerned for my safety. And this person clearly wants attention, so I'm going to give them the attention that they're so desperately looking for. 2 weeks ago, I went on a date with a man named Jerome King. Jerome messaged me on social media. I'm assuming that he's followed me for a while. I did not become aware of him until he messaged me a couple of weeks ago. He asked to take me on a date. Me being newly single, clearly unadjusted to what's out here in the world. But I decided, sure, why not? I know that I have a large social media following. I'm not the type of person that's super caught up in that, but I forget that not everybody feels that way and not everybody recognizes that social media is just a number and people are just people. Jerome suggested that we go to Nikki Beach or Komodo, which if you're not from Miami or familiar with, both of those are really nice restaurants. Nikki Beach, I was already familiar with. Komodo, I was not. So we initially decided to go to Nikki Beach, but it rained that day, so we changed our plans and decided to go to Komodo. Once we got to Komodo, overall, I would say I had a decent time. There were some things that happened that I was a little concerned about, but at the end of the day, it's a first date, so it's not like I'm going to be like super picky about these things. I feel like we're just supposed to be getting to know each other, having some fun, enjoying each other's company, and for the most part, I did enjoy his company the first time that we hung out. After we finished eating at Komodo's, he suggested that we go to a bar around the corner. So we did. I told him that it had to be fast because the ballet was going to end and I had my car in ballet. He said it was going to be fast. We end up going to the bar. While we're at the bar, he's saying some things to me, that indicate to me that he's very interested in me, such as, he wants to give me 3 kids and he's, just a lot. He did try to kiss me and I politely turned to the side of my cheek because, I'm still lady. I'm a Southern Belle. You feel me? Like I come from a different era, come from a different closet. I'm a grown woman. You feel me? So I just feel like, let's take things slow. Let's navigate at a pace that makes sense. I'm not trying to rush into anything. And I expressed all these things to him. I told him, please just respect me as a lady. We'll get there eventually if we do continue to talk to each other, but let's just take it slow. He seemed like he was okay with that, even though he did try more times throughout the night. Anyway, so after we leave the bar, we go to get my car out of valet. He kindly pays for the valet, and then he asked me, could I take him home? So since he had just paid for the valet, he paid for the date, I didn't see any problem with taking him home, so I decided to take him home. It was my birthday, so when we get there, he's inviting me up to come for a little bit. I'm really apprehensive about it because I didn't want to give the wrong impression by going up to his apartment, but he really wasn't really trying to take no for an answer. And I was just like, okay, you know what? I can come up for a little bit. So I go up to his apartment. We hang out for a little bit. But when I tell y'all, it was literally so brief and so chill. He had a nice view of the city. So we kind of was on the balcony. We was chilling, whatever. I want to reiterate that there was literally no sexual conduct between me and him. There was not even a kiss on the lips. There was not any of that. It was cool though. We had good vibes. Both of us seemed to enjoy each other's company. When I left, everything seemed to be good. It is what it is. Now let's go ahead and get into these messages because this is where I need to pick y'all up and get y'all in this beat. Because when I tell y'all, just hold on, this is gonna take a turn for more than the worst. After the day, he's texting me. He's telling me that he's feeling very blessed and lucky that he got the opportunity to meet me, that he respects me, he wants to support me in my life, and then he told me happy birthday the next day. So when I woke up, I told him good morning, thank you. We had took pictures that night. It was a real goofy fun time or whatever. But the pictures came out bad, and he was like, I should have put the flash on. So I was just at least we got them for memories. He was like, yeah, I love them. I can't wait to see you again soon. And I told him I'm excited to see you again too. So after this, he went on a vacation for a week and some change. I knew he was going on the vacation, and so I didn't really reach out because I knew that he was on the vacation. Also, I just feel like if you're interested in a woman as a man, the man is the pursuer, you feel me? So even though we did have a decent first date, I'm not going to exert a lot of energy into chasing you as a man because that's just not who I am naturally, you feel me? So I don't really reach out while he's away, but while we were at our first date, he was saying that he was already planning our second date. We were supposed to go on a date the Saturday that he got back. He got back on a Friday, which was yesterday. So literally before this man left, he was like, don't go to Nikki Beach until I get back so we can go together the Saturday after I get back. These were his words that came out of his mouth. So Friday, I texted him and said, safe travels today. Literally, that was the first time we had spoken since our date. Super chill. Yeah. He responds back. He's like, thanks, boo. I don't respond to that. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't feel no type of way or anything. I just didn't see any reason to respond. He texts me again and he says, let's chill when I get back. So I asked him, are we still on for Nikki Beach tomorrow? He says, yes. I said, yay, I'm excited. He says, me too. I miss you. Now, at this point, this is when everything goes fucking left. One thing about me, like, I like to be very genuine in dating. You feel me? I feel like a lot of people try to love bomb. They try to like gaslight each other into a relationship, into a situationship. And I'm just not with that. Like, I'm all about like genuine honesty, transparency, etc. And the reason I say that is because I'm like, okay, you don't really miss me because you've been on vacation for a week and a half and I haven't heard from you. Like, you know, even us talking right now was because I hit you up and said safe travels, you feel me? Now, I didn't take that as that he was not interested in me. Like, I didn't feel that way at all. I just felt like, I mean, you don't really miss me because if you miss me, you would have reached out. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. I feel like you shouldn't miss me. It doesn't matter. Like, we only went on one date. I don't really care, you know? But what I do care about is just being like genuine. You know what I'm saying? Just being straightforward. We don't have to like love bomb each other into something that is not. So I say all that to say that at the time I didn't respond because I really didn't know how to respond to that message without being inauthentic. So he texts me today and is like, hey, I told him, hey, sorry I didn't get back to you yesterday. I was working last night. Now, honestly, I wanted us to have the conversation about the I miss you thing in person because I felt like communicating through text, it can get a little tricky. But he responded back, Kate, which let me know that he felt some type of way about the fact that I didn't respond yesterday. So I was like, okay, you know what? I guess we just should have the conversation now. Get it over with. It's no big deal. So I text him back. I say, also, I didn't really know how to respond to your message since I hadn't heard from you in a while. That apparently was the worst thing that I could have ever said. So let me let y'all know now, it's going to be a lot of text messages, a lot of audio messages, a lot of things coming after this. So he responds and says, you don't know how to respond? What message? American women so crazy. I took you to a nice ass restaurant and you saying you don't know how to respond, but you responded with Nikki Beach. That means you're not really interested. I said, that got really aggressive out of nowhere because what do you mean American women? Like, where did all of this fresh and fit talk come from, okay? You said that you missed me, but I haven't heard from you the entire time you were gone, so I didn't know how to respond. I had a great time before, and I was looking forward to getting to know more about you, but I'm definitely not interested in this behavior. Because once you start saying certain keywords, certain little, terms, that lets me know what you be watching, what you be on. And honestly, there were some signs. And I ignored them. I'm not going to lie to y'all, but we're taking it too far. But baby, little did I know, Jerome was just getting started. Okay, he was just getting started with me. He responds, you're not interested in me at all. I have not heard from you either. You could have texted me too. It goes both ways. I feel like you just want me for a free meal. I'm not interested in that behavior. I want someone to have fun with without having to spend a bunch of money every time. And then she says she's not interested. So I say, I was the one who texted you safe travels and started the whole conversation. You suggested both the restaurant and Nikki Beach, not me. And the first time I don't respond, you insult me. I'm sorry that you clearly had negative experiences in the past, and I hope that you find what you're looking for. And at this point, I feel like this is a nice, even break because I can already see the road this is going. So I just decided to kindly invite him to the block party in my phone and let that be that. But he said, no, ma'am. No, ma'am, I'm not done with you, okay? Y'all, when I tell you, trigger warning.
Now, let me know what you think about that whole ordeal. Well, and I feel like, in my personal opinion, that she possibly was trying to game him out of taking her out on a date just so she could be able to get a free meal. She just has that look about herself that she likes to play men, likes to manipulate men and get what she can out of them to her advantage. I'm sure a lot of you other brothers have came across women like that, which also gives reference. This last reel that I just showed you of how contaminated, why I think that today's dating market and dating pool is highly contaminated. I struggle with that word from time to time, has P in it, so to speak. Due to that last clip that I just showed. If you want to prove me wrong, then feel free to join me by clicking on that StreamYard link right here at the very top of the live chat. So you give me your perspectives on why not you may think that the dating pool doesn't have quote unquote P in it. Even if you do think it may have quote unquote P in it, then feel free to join me by clicking on this here StreamYard link. Other than that, I plan on ending this stream, and I hope you guys enjoyed the stream or will enjoy the stream. For some of you who may plan on viewing it later on in a form of the pre-recorded version of it. Until next time, have a good one.